It is the direct result of a marked increase in destructive power being unleashed by the earth itself. Number 2. The second thunder is the increasing destruction generated by earthquakes. Over a period of only 2 years, there have been over 400,000 deaths from earthquakes, with several million additional people being displaced. 96. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake, known by the scientific community as the Sumatra-Andaman earthquake, was an undersea earthquake that occurred on December 26, 2004. According to the United States Geological Survey, the earthquake and its tsunami killed more than 283,100 people, making it one of the deadliest disasters in modern history. The greatest destruction and loss of life from earthquakes is the direct result of collapsing buildings, or the power unleashed in the form of a tsunami. Volcanoes are also associated with earthquakes. All these things will continue to wreak havoc on man and nature in an ever-increasing magnitude as we approach the very end of this age. All 7 thunders will increase in power and recognition over the next 2 years, from the date of the first printing of this book, and on into the final 3.5 years of Great Tribulation. The 7 thunders will serve as a powerful witness that the words of this book are true, and that they are from the God of Abraham, the father of Jesus Christ. The third thunder, in terms of an economic impact on property, and even loss of life, one of the most destructive forces that is taking a dramatic turn for the worse, is being caused by an escalating change in our weather. Some will argue that the current weather conditions are a reflection of normal cycles of change over time. It is true that the weather follows cycles. Yes, there have always been times of intensity when destructive powers have been unleashed. However, now is different, because the destructiveness and change in weather patterns is going to continue to increase dynamically, not following normal patterns. 97. Some areas will experience abnormally large amounts of rainfall, while others, that normally receive large amounts, will receive none. The consequences of this will be a marked increase in flooding and mudslides in some areas, while other areas will experience growing problems with drought, which, as we have seen this past year, results in widespread fires and extensive damage to livestock and crops. Some areas will experience normal amounts of rain, but it will come at the wrong time to benefit agriculture. Too much cold and too much heat at the wrong time will also add to this destructive power. Those who have their livelihood in agriculture have always had to contend with such things, but over the next couple of years these conditions will become the worst yet. Number 3. The third thunder is the growing destructiveness from weather. The record-setting hurricane season of 2005 in the United States has already been mentioned. Experts expected Hurricane Katrina, which hit Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi on August 29, 2005, to be the costliest natural disaster in United States history. Some early estimates exceeded $100 billion, but, as it turns out, the economic impact has exceeded $200 billion. Just this past week, March 22, 2006, Cyclone Larry, same as a hurricane, except in the northern hemisphere, a Category 5 storm, struck Australia with winds of 180 miles per hour. This incredibly powerful storm went inland about 60 miles south of Cairns. Banana plantations were stripped bare and the damage is expected to run into the hundreds of millions of dollars. The fourth thunder, each one of the previous prophetic thunders, will have an impact 98 on the fourth thunder. The result of nations fighting terrorism and engaging in war, along with the devastation caused by earthquakes and the destructiveness from weather, will place a greater burden on a crushing global economy. Number 4. The fourth thunder is global economic upheaval. The world is entering into a time of final upheaval for the global economy. The stock market cannot continue its masquerade of being healthy and robust while being falsely propped up by positive talk, pseudo-exuberance and creative forecasting. The day of reckoning is now on the world's doorstep. Many deeply felt pangs of sickness will reverberate throughout the world as we draw nearer to a huge market crash. Some nations are already indicating a shift from dollar to euro as a better assurance for future stability. Although many in the United States scoff at such a possibility, that is precisely what will happen as confidence in the dollar continues to wane. With corporate scandals and corruption on an alarming rise, not to mention never-ending downsizing, along with a loss in confidence in a sick economy, The United States is drawing near to an economic implosion. Colorful forecasts, indifferent management, sleight of hand trickery concerning corporate assets, downsizing, and other corporate gimmickry have reached the point of no return. There will be no bouncing back from the cancerous greed that has nearly choked all life out of free market capitalism. Add to all these economic woes the problem of trade deficits, money manipulation, volatile oil markets, and a list of other global ailments, and you have a sure formula for global economic upheaval, the likes of which this world has never seen. The world 99 has experienced times of great economic upheaval, but it has always bounced back in one way or another. This time there will be no bouncing back, because the world will experience a complete economic meltdown to a level which not even the hoarding of gold and silver will solve. The stability of the global economy is on very shaky ground, so much so that even a small country like Iran is making threats that can actually help push it over the edge. This week World Net Daily, February the 3rd, 2006, reported on an unusual move from Iran. The global economy is so insecure that something this small could actually start a final domino effect. Beginning in 2003, Iran began demanding oil payment in euros, not dollars, although the oil itself was still priced in United States currency. Now Iran is seriously considering establishing an Iranian oil bourse, with the goal of competing with the New York Mercantile Exchange, NYMEX, and London's International Petroleum Exchange, IPE. Right now, the NYMEX and IPE use three oil markers to establish price: West Texas Intermediate crude, Norway Brent crude, and the UAE Dubai crude. With the establishment of an Iranian oil bourse, Tehran wants to create a fourth oil marker, this one priced in the euro. Today, about 70% of the world's international foreign currency reserves are held in dollars. If the petro-euro begins to challenge the petrodollar, this percentage could diminish drastically. 100 The United States depends on the dollar foreign currency reserves in order to sell the treasury debt that sustains budget deficits. Most Americans are completely unaware of this threat Iran represents to the United States economy. Even China has been hinting at shifting some of its reserves from the dollar to the euro. There is much economic uneasiness in the world today, and this is about to lead into an unprecedented economic upheaval worldwide. The fifth thunder. The next three thunders have a duality that includes both the Church of God and the world. It has already been explained that the sixth seal is a time of transition from end-time tribulation on the Church to end-time tribulation on this world. The last three thunders are a direct part of that transition. Number 5. The fifth thunder is death. The first three thunders obviously include a marked increase in death from escalation in worldwide devastation. This thunder is in addition to that destruction, and will occur in a specific manner. All seven thunders should serve to be a very sobering witness, testimony, to the validity that the final end-time destruction, as recorded in prophecy, is now at hand, and that God's end-time spokesman for his two witnesses has now come, and he is indeed from God. The seven thunders will be the beginning evidence that my words are true. In small part, the fifth thunder has already begun within the 101 Church of God that was scattered. The world will be fully unaware of the first phase of this thunder, because they do not know God's church. However, the church that was scattered will become fully aware of its reality. This fifth thunder is divided into three specific phases of death. 1. The first phase is death within the Church of God that was scattered. It will be specifically about a marked increase in the death of its leadership, the ministry. 2. The second phase will be a sudden escalation in the death of notable people in the world. 3. The third phase will be a sudden escalation of death in the world from plagues. 1. This first phase of this fifth thunder has already begun in a very small way upon the Church of God that was scattered, after the prophesied apostasy, 2 Thess.